Hey guys, Andrew McComb here and welcome to Outlier. In this week's episode, I'm on Mantaray Island where I'm going to be speaking to Ryan Irvine, the co-founder of the Mantaray Island Resort. Okay guys, I'm excited. Let's go and meet Ryan. Ryan, welcome to Outlier.
Yeah, thanks mate. Welcome to Manta Ray.
What a beautiful spot, mate. It's obviously a labour of love for you.
Yeah, it's been a labour of love and a bit of a struggle, but it's got where we want it and we're loving it. So
it's a 3-star, 5 coconut, which is
coconut,
Fiji rating system.
We love coconut.
Resort, and it's 72 kilometres from the mainland. So you are an outlier just in the mere fact of location. But how did it all begin?
So Tina and I were travelling overseas. I met Tina over in England, and then we decided after a couple of years of travelling together that we wanted to start something in Fiji. Tina has never been over this side of the world actually, so it was pretty exciting for her as well, and big step obviously. Yeah, we came to Fiji, started this, went looking, found a place that we wanted to do it, and lucky enough that the Fijians were so hospitable that they leased us some land, and here it is, you know, so it's like, welcome to Mantaray.
So how does that process work with the Fijians? Like, do you have to go and meet the chief or?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually still quite a traditional way that we need to do that. You still need to go and meet the chief and actually, and they call it a sevu sevu, which is like a welcome, and whether they accept you or not after the sevu sevu, usually always with kava. In something like this, we use a sperm whale tooth, so it's still quite traditional in the way that you still need to present something. So I guess if you want to call it insignificant in our way to the chief, and it's worth so much in their way, that it still applies, you know, like.
Yeah. How did you know that that's what was required in order to, like, obviously have your meeting, you have your kava session, etc., to then get a lease on an island? Did you have people helping you with that?
Well, not in such. We had a few friends from different villages, and luckily we had a friend from the village that we're in now. It's one of the biggest villages in the Yasawa Islands actually, and our chief's actually a tui as well, which is quite high. So yeah, so we had, yeah, absolutely. We had some help. I don't think you could do it without a bit of help from a local villager. Yeah. But there's also a governing body in Fiji that helps you with sort of relaying messages to and fro from the village as well.
So you also have the government support plus the island support and the village support.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's amazing about Fiji too. It's not just a handshake deal. So you've got a little bit of stability in leases and whatever you've got, what you want to set up. And it makes it so much more easy, if you want to call it that way. And it's totally legal too. So everyone's on the same playing field, which is great for a third world country.
Yeah, so after your kava session, they must have seen something in you. What do you reckon that was?
Probably young. I was quite young, and so was Tina. We had a pretty...
So how young were you?
I think I was 24.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I was 24 or 23. I can't remember exactly when that was. Yeah. I haven't worked it back. I probably could pretty easily, but
a few years back, 15. Yeah,
it was a while back. So we started here. I think we started operating in 2004, and we started with the whole lease proceedings and stuff like that within 2002. So it was a while. So wow. Yeah. So I think I was 24 actually. So
for a 24-year-old and Tina being say 23 in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to start your first business, that is a massive achievement, isn't it?
It was. It was a big achievement. We actually didn't. It's amazing when you're so pumped on something like that, you actually don't think of anything like that. You just want to get it done, you know, and you're pretty excited to wake up every morning and see what we're looking at right now. It's pretty, it's a $1 million view, and you know, we're here in Fiji and we're loving it and we're doing what we love. So it's great, you know,
So tell us about the turn of the soil for the first day.
The first turn of the soil, what was it? I can't remember what we did for that, but it was a lot of work. We had no machinery out here at all, so we did every hole by hand. We carried every pine pole up the hill by shoulder, if you want to call it. Luckily, the Fijians are strong fellas, you know. They were our earth moving, they were our crane, And mate, to be honest with you, to build a resort with Fijians, it's pretty testing, but it's hilarious as well. And it just adds to the whole deal. By no means was it easy. If you ask me now, would I do it again? I'd probably say no, but it is what it is, and we loved it, and we wouldn't take that back at all, you know. So it was a great experience, great journey. Glad that the outcome came out pretty well. I think it's one of those things when you've got your mind set to something, I don't think there's a problem with not coming out well. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If you don't, or you're a little bit dubious, I don't think it's going to work, you know.
So you've bought your photo album?
Mate, I have. We found this last night, having a couple of quenching ales, and she's a little bit tattered. Dropped it on the way up here a couple of times but it is here, and it's got like our first photo of when we were actually. So it's our first photo here of when we first found the island, and
wow,
it shows how much the island's changed actually in terms of scenery as well.
The beach isn't that wide nowadays, is it?
No, it's all changed unfortunately, but you know, I'm sure it'll come back. Mother Nature at its greatest there. So yeah, it's like that was the first time we sort of walked on the island, and it was massive.
Very young, weren't you?
Yeah, we were.
So what was going through your mind at that point as you're walking along that beach, knowing that what you wanted to achieve, you got the vision, but there's just trees in front of you?
I remember the first time Tina and I jumped off the boat and hit the beach, and we were like, this just feels right, you know. We went to a couple of other places, and it wasn't it, you know, and we jumped off here, and it was just like, this is it, you know. It was pretty amazing.
What were you looking for in a location?
Well, obviously with tourism, you've got to look for a few things. One of the things was accessibility. We were lucky enough that there was a South Sea Cruises Awesome Adventures barge. Oh, sorry, not their barge. It was their cruise boat, which was like a hop-on, hop-off tourist boat, fast ferry. Was up on the island then. It started a few years before that, and so that was one of it. We also looked for, the reef here is amazing. It's probably the best house reef that you'll see in Fiji.
Just basically you walk a few metres off the beach and you can swim with sharks.
Absolutely.
All sorts of fish.
Yeah, absolutely. At night time you'll see fish on the right 2 metres away from you, you know. Yeah. And we're lucky enough to have the Manta Rays right on our doorstep.
Did you know that at the time?
Yes and no. So when we were looking at it, we were told that there was some stingrays, they called them, and I was a little bit confused, and finally worked out that it wasn't the stingrays, it was the Manta Rays. And when we were here before we built too, we were lucky enough to swim with them by pure accident as well. So it was it all was in line, and we took it, you know. We took the leap and went for it. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
So it took a few years, 3 years, I guess, between opening and building. Obviously that takes a lot of money early on, and you're not receiving any money at the same time. How'd you get through that process? Yeah,
well, yes, it took a bit of money. Tina and I had a little bit of money saved up from our travels, and unfortunately we were really young, so we couldn't take a bank loan, and we were really fortunate. Tina's parents and my parents threw a little bit of money in towards it, and believe me, it was only a little bit, and we started with what we had, and we built with what we had, and we had to open, and ever since then, you know, it's still developing, you know. We haven't finished the resort yet, you know, so it's sort of one of those things that it just keeps rolling over.
Yeah, well, every day you're making improvements. On a day-to-day basis now, what was the original vision compared to what it is now?
To be honest with you, our original vision was little bourays, grass bourays, that people can come up and like live like a Fijian basically. And then when you start building like that, you just realize that it's really, really hard to develop a resort like that, because you just don't have the amenities. And then when people, and also changing times as well, you know, like as I said, we've developed through the years, developing what we thought we were. We were opening originally as a backpackers, and it's now gained some momentum, and we've realized that, you know, it's sort of just in different climates too, in tourism climates, you know, in the fact that, you know, flights, the number of people, costs, blah blah blah, you know, we've picked it up to sort of like a family 3-star resort now. So
yeah, have you noticed in the time you've been here that there's a lot more people would come now, or is it dropping off, or how does it?
We find that there is different different aspects of it. Like I said, some aspects of who we market to definitely have dropped off. The whole backpacker sort of traveler now is a lot different nowadays than what it was when, say, we started backpacking. Our market now is more sort of the travelers that when I was backpacking, and now people have hooked up with families and wives and kids. We've really found that market now for us is really sort of grabbing us, and we're levitating towards that market now. So obviously we're not getting rid of the backpackers, but they're always fun to have at a resort. You can't not deny a backpacker. They're a lot of laughs, and look, we were backpackers one day, and that's what got us here, So
tell us about the resort today. What are the types of things, like what would the ideal market or client come to experience here at Mantaray?
So Mantaray, we love the water. We came to Fiji because of a couple of things. One, the local people. Fijians are the friendliest people in the world. We love them up here. All our staff are amazing. Our resort's renowned for having some of the best staff in Fiji. Also, our water, we're water people. We surf, we kiteboard, we stand-up paddle, we foil, we fish, we spearfish, we dive, we teach free diving, we teach scuba diving here. We love the water, so that's what we try to froth on. We've got the Manta Rays at our doorstep. We had dolphins in the bay here 2 days ago. So it's pretty amazing. If you love the water, or want your kids, or want anyone to be in a safe environment where they can safely learn to swim, dive, snorkel, free dive or whatever, this is the place. It's like an amazing place. You'll love it. It's a great resort. And it's
a nice relaxed vibe too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's like one of those resorts that we leave open for people. We're pretty relaxed as owners, Tina and I, and we leave it to our staff in terms of how they want to portray the resort. Sometimes it's a party down at the bar, if there's a good group in and they want to get on it, we definitely encourage it. Some days people just want to chill and enjoy the vibes and some Fijian music and some Fijian hospitality, which, by the way, is no terms boring. It's always fun.
Well, you do the island night a couple times a week?
Yeah, we do. We do a Fijian lovo on a Friday night, which is the traditional underground cooking. And we do like a meke, which is like, they call it a kumbu, which is like their traditional dance, which is pretty cool to see, actually. Fijians love it. They love showing off their islands and their country, and they're pretty hospitable. And
the sunset cruises last night was good?
Mate, you can't go past the sunset cruise. Sitting in a tire tube out at sea, having a couple of quiet ales, it's pretty refreshing. And with backdrops like this, with the sun going down over that one, it's like you can't not love it.
Oh, it's sensational. So Ryan, one of the main purposes of Outlier is to inspire other potential outliers or entrepreneurs to maybe follow a journey like yours, but relevant to their own life. It doesn't mean they have to start a resort. It could be anything, right? But what I really want to do for the viewers' sake is show some of the photos of it really hit home to me when you were showing them to me this morning before we did this interview, of what you've been through. And a lot of people don't see that. They always see the end product, and then they'll critique you on all of that, and they don't even know what's gone into it. So let's look at some of the truth that's gone in here.
Yeah, it's been a journey and a bit of a mission. And like I said, we built the whole resort with no cranes, with no lifting facilities. We live on an island, and even just getting the big logs that we had from the tugboat at the time, we threw them over the side and swum them in like a surfboard. So even that process was, we were standing over the side when we first tipped the first log in, going, I hope these things float. Because if they didn't, we didn't know how to get them in. So it was like, it was all done off like how we felt, if you want to call it like that. And if it worked, if it didn't work, we didn't even know what we were doing. So it was a process. And mate, it's what we do, it's like, it was awesome. So
all right, well, how about you show me some of them?
Yeah, so this is some of the photos that we've got here. It's a little bit old, like I said, the photo book, but it shows definitely from when we first started, and just the amount of timber and everything here, with the boys carrying them up the beach, and Tina here, there, and our makeshift kitchen that we used to cook in every day and things like that was pretty...
Well, you started with tents, so you pitched tents on the island first.
Yeah, we had tents first until they blew away. They didn't last long, actually, so we had like a bit of a cyclone up here and the tents blew away, and then after that we were living under the stars, basically. So yeah, it actually was a lot better too, to be honest. So, yeah, but that was sort of a process that we went through.
Did you find by doing that you actually became more connected to Fiji? You know, that's what the locals tend to do, a lot more outdoor stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. When you start living with the people properly, like they did, you become a lot more close in different ways, you know, like knowing everyone who snores the worst, but just in terms of the whole outlay of the resort, you're working with them every day. Probably don't want to live with them every single day of my life, but and I'm sure that they don't want to do the same with me too, by the way, but it was pretty cool and it was just part of it, you know. You gotta take the good with the bad, and I don't look at that being bad either. It was just a great time. We had a lot of laughs. Like some of the photos in here, you can see some of the parties we had with the local boys having traditional lovos, and when we had guests come, they'd do the whole traditional, which we still do here too, which is amazing about this area. They still do the traditional welcomes and the traditional like dances and kumbas and stuff like that. So it's great, you know. Like,
well, it's really touching for me when we arrived yesterday. The guys came out on the beach and full welcome. You know, there's 8 to 10 guys, and it's another highlight for me is that I guess seems like every Fijian can sing.
Oh mate, they're pretty talented. They can sing and play rugby. Pretty amazing people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so it's famous for Manta Rays. We're going to swim with the Manta Rays later today.
We're going to go for a swim with the Manta Rays soon. There've been a few spotted, which is good at this time of year.
Yeah.
And in our peak season, you'll swim with them every day. And they like I said yesterday, they're pretty amazing. You'll be blown away.
So we'll start with our intro dive first. Do we do that first?
We'll go for a quick intro dive.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Manta Rays are on a tide.
Yeah.
And then we'll go for a quick Manta Ray swim. And then we can do what we want. You know?
Go fishing.
Go for a fish maybe. We went for the sunset cruise yesterday.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see what we do. You might even just want to chill out for a bit. I know you've had a bit of a big trip over here, so
yeah.
see what the go is.
Okay, so back to the viewers. So your inspiration for this place, was it traveling the world, or was it once you hit Fiji?
No, it was traveling the world. I knew straight away when I came. Actually, when I was a younger kid, one of my best friends at school lived in New Guinea, up in Papua New Guinea, and I went there when I was at school with him for about 6 weeks over the Christmas break, and just absolutely loved it, and just was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then traveling around the world, met Tina. I told Tina what I would love to do, and she jumped on it as well. And she was like, being a girl from Sweden that's never been out of Sweden and Europe, she was like, I'm all over it. I want to do it as well. Let's go. So it was sort of between the two of us, our drive with each other, like made it happen, sort of thing, you know. And when we got here, I remember the first time Tina said, all I want to do is have a cocktail under a coconut tree. She's never had a cocktail under a coconut tree.
Wow.
So it's like being from Australia, you know, we're going, oh, well, that's something that we can do all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And from someone from Europe, you kind of hear that and you're like, wow, this is pretty unique, you know. And then coming to sort of our part of the world in the South Pacific, like Australia, we've got that here on our doorstep, so close to us that it's like everybody should experience it, you know. And it's, yeah, so we drove each other pretty much to do this, and you know, and that was it.
Well,
and still do.
That was in England, you made that call?
Yeah, pretty much. I knew straight away that this is what I wanted to do. Yeah. It's like whether I wanted to do it somehow, whether it be Fiji or Vanuatu or whatever. I'd never been to these countries before. I was lucky enough to come to Fiji when I was younger. I used to work for a travel company. I used to run surfing holidays for them.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I knew that it just drew you back. Fiji is one of these countries that when you're not here, it just draws you back to it. And it's like, every time I came back through traveling around the world, I always have to stop in to Fiji and definitely surf. Yeah. And if not, it would be definitely getting in the water, fishing or diving or spearing or doing something in the water, you know.
So someone who's battling at, say, early stages, they either have an inkling of what they want to do with their life, their business, etc., or have no idea and maybe are battling with that. You knew, you were lucky you knew. What about Tina though? Like, you obviously mentioned it to her, but she wouldn't have had that vision prior that was her dream, or?
Look, I can't speak for Tina in terms of that, but I know for a fact that Tina was she loved it. We were traveling, we were young, we were open to everything. And to be honest with you, I don't think it matters whether you're young or not. If you want to do something, you're going to do it. You know, like we had so many people telling us, oh, this is going to happen, you're stupid, this, blah, blah, blah. If you believe all that, you know what, you're going to be like that. If you've got if you're positive and want to do it, you're going to do it. It's as simple as that. And it's,
Well, if you look at the people who say that sort of stuff, right, and you look at their environment, what their lifestyle, whatever they're created, it's probably not going to be that.
mate, they're still doing the same things today as what they were when they were telling us that we're not going to do this, you know.
Yeah.
So it's pretty, you know, it's like, it's some of them are our good friends too, you know, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but unfortunately for them that they haven't actually, you know, they haven't actually believed in what they could think they can do and done what they think they can do. And, you know, so it's sort of, I think it's for a lot of people, you know, so.
Do you think you're born with that, or is it something can be developed?
Mate, I think, mate, to be honest with you, I think it can be developed. There's so many people that sit back now watching YouTube and Instagram and go, oh, I'd love to do that. Like, they're the people that won't do it, you know. You've got to get up and do it. You either got to make the move and do it or don't do it. And
It's watching everyone else's lives go by.
absolutely. So it's sort of like, and unfortunately, I love social media. You know, it's helped us with our resort, but I also hate it in that way. You know, it's such a positive, but such a negative influence as well. And you've just got to take the positive out of it, you know. And if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Like, I've got other things now that I want to do personally, away from Manta Ray, and I know Tina's got some things that she wants to do away from Manta Ray as well. But, you know, our main focus at the moment is definitely the island still and the resort, and love having guests here and love showing them a good time. And this is it for us, you know, we love it. So,
Well, again, back to the photos, you know, just blown away that the amount of effort it's taken to go from absolutely nothing to what it is today. And not in just the building side, the features side of the business, but also underneath the people side and the system side and the connection with the mainland office and, you know, all your logistics and everything else. It's just phenomenal. So you've kind of, by default, just through taking action, built an incredible business from a 24-year-old base, you know what I mean? That's pretty impressive.
Actually, when you look at it like that, we don't, you know, you kind of miss that when you actually talk about it until someone actually brings it up to you. But it's what goes with the whole process. Like I said, Tina and I, apart from me working in tourism for probably a year or so, you know, we had no idea what we were doing. Absolutely no idea. And we just made it up as we went. You know, we listened to people. Advice is definitely good advice. There's definitely good advice and bad advice, and you need to just take it as it is and have a little bit of a belief in yourself. And if you say you can't do it, well, you're not going to do it. But if you say, let's just give it a crack, and you know what have we got to lose? You know, like you're gonna do it. And we've been self-taught on everything. Tina runs our office on the mainland, and you know, we've got 10 staff in the mainland office now, which is like, just to think of that, we're like, wow, we fit 10 people in that office.
Well, but, from the start, you didn't have a mainland office,
no,
right?
Everything was done out here, but it got to the point where it just got a little bit big for us, and we started delegating, and that's another hard thing to do actually, is delegating to people that can actually start running and doing systems and whatever it is for your business as well, which you know, once again, in a country like Fiji, where it is a developing or a third world country, whatever you want to call it, and finding that help can be a little bit testing as well. But you know, it's great when, you know, we've trained them up, and you know, maybe it's not to a 5-star Sheraton standard, but I tell you now, our staff can probably work in one of them and have a better time and probably show those guys how to do it better than what they do it now, you know. So,
and how to relax.
Yeah, and chill, that's right.
Yeah. So speaking of challenges, what have been some of your biggest ones?
For us, definitely is we're, you know, 70 kilometres off the mainland. To get goods here can be quite expensive. Obviously, staffing's a massive issue. The Fijians are pretty relaxed. Sometimes they go home and don't always come back the day that they're meant to come back.
Is that right?
Yeah, so it's sort of, mate, they've got a great work ethic, if you want to call it like that. Like, it's pretty cruisy, and you'll see it when you come to Fiji. They're pretty relaxed. And it just makes it, you know, it's like very frustrating for us, but it's
Fiji time.
Exactly, you know, so
how do you overcome that when, like, you've got guests, say you've got 100 guests in on today's ferry, and some one or many don't show up?
You've got to combat that, so you pretty much work that into what's going on. But look, generally they're pretty good. We know a lot of people here. We know a lot of our staff have got brothers, sisters, cousins, like they like to call it. And you know, we can usually get someone to come and fill their job. You know, obviously we're an island, so everyone's got to come from another island or the mainland, we like to call it, and just getting them here, you know, ferries, whatever. Very reliable, but everything can happen.
It's funny, when we came in yesterday, I said to the guy, he lives in the village across in the other island, and I said, how long does it take to get to work? He goes, 5 minute by boat or 90-minute swim. So they swim to work, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a bit of Fijian. I think that's a little bit of Fijian humour there for you. Yeah. But yeah, I've had guys kayak to work in an old, they fold up a piece of roofing tin and into a kayak, and that's their canoe, and they fish in it. And we've had guys rock up with them, so it's pretty funny. They're great, like I can't really say too much bad about the Fijian person because they're pretty reliable. They're good people. Mate, you'll love it. Get them over here. Your kids will be absolutely in heaven once they meet Fijians. They're just great nannies and hosts, if you want to call it. So yeah.
Well, I also hear a lot of creativity, adaptability, flexibility. You've got to chill a bit here, don't you? And that's for those people out there who may be stressing about the minor details.
I dare say if you're a person from the city that likes to have everything done on time and whatever, it will stress you here a bit because you've really got to have that adaptation where like it might not get done today, but it will get done, and it's just one of those things. They call it Fiji time, so it's usually a little bit later, and it works. It actually works. So it's quite funny. You just need to adapt the way that they are and learn a bit of their cultures and their customs, and obviously being in a foreign country and look mate, it all works, so.
And you've had a lot of help other than Tina and the Fijians. You've had a few other close mates have been pretty tight for the whole 15 years. How important's team when it comes to building something like this? Yeah,
we were really lucky. Our builder here, Craig, he's been with us since the start actually, so he turned the first soil as well with us, and he was here for 3 weeks to start off with. He worked for a friend of the family as a builder, as a building team that they used to build in Australia, and he decided to stay. So he's been here now 16 years, wow. And he's still here. He's worked for a couple of massive developments in Fiji. He worked for the guys who own Red Bull, their 6-star resort. He worked for the guys that own Oakley sunglasses. He built their resort as well. So we've got some good building skills and talent here helping us out, which has been fantastic. But yeah, in terms of diving, we had Joe from Big Blue. He recently, last year or the year before, left Manta Ray and started on his own, and it's amazing. He's doing really well and killing it with his girlfriend Laura. And he ran our dive shop here. Like, we've got world-class diving up in the Asauas as well, which is really unknown of. And he certainly put it on the map for us. So that was pretty much.
So it would have been a sad day when he left.
Yeah,
it was a tough conversation.
Yeah, it was a bit of a sad day, but you know what? Oh, pat on the back to Joe. It's like what we're talking about with the Outlier. It's like he's done it. He's doing it and doing it really well, and he's made a big step and a bit of a risk there for him, and yeah, he's doing it. So hats off to Joe and Laura. Good luck to them, and like good friends of ours. So it's always good to see your mates doing well. So yeah.
So we're going to head out. We're going to do some cool stuff today, a lot of water activity. But before we do, you had one message for the guys out there who want to be similar to you. They were going to be themselves, obviously. But what's the one biggest thing you could share with them that's going to help their journey?
I'd say get off the phone or get off the computer and stop watching it and doing it. You know what I mean? And you know what? You're going to come up with battles. It's not easy, but it's all part of it. It's like some of the worst battles that we had doing this resort, we look back at it and it's some of the best times that we ever had. You know what I mean? So it's like it all creates the outcome, and if you get in and hate it straight away, well, you're not gonna be positive about it. But just be positive. People are gonna always put you down no matter what, whether it's family, friends, or people out there on social media or whatever. Like, don't listen to it. Get in there. If you truly believe that it's going to work, it's going to work. And that's it. That's all I can say. So, and it doesn't matter what your age you are. It doesn't matter how much money. Just start it with what you've got and then build into it, which is what we've done here.
Well, you've learned along the way, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's just negativity is the worst thing you can ever listen to, mate. And so yeah, get into it, do it.
Good stuff. Well, Ryan, Thanks for coming on the show. You're officially an outlier, my friend.
Good on you, mate. Welcome. Thank you very much, and good to have you up here, mate. We appreciate it.
Let's get in that water.
Let's do it. Good stuff.
Well, there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this inspiring interview with Ryan Irvine. For more videos, resources and information, visit outlier.tv or connect with us on our social media pages below. I'm Andrew McComb, and here's to living the outlier life outside of the comfort zone. I'll see you soon.